Oh yeah, YouTube, welcome back to the main channel. It's your boy Ellis. We got a special video. We're gonna be updating the top 10 1v1 hoopers on the YouTube scene. Some things have changed. This is an updated ranking. This is not an all-time ranking. This is an updated ranking. I want you guys to think of it as boxing. When guys box, one takes a L, one wins, one takes a L, one wins. The things may change. This list is not the list that I'm always gonna have. We update this list once every 2 to 3 months, and this is just another update for what's gonna happen. These things can change. This is not a concrete list for me. This is a list that can change based on what occurs within these next few months. You gotta have a minimum of 5 games. A minimum of 5 games. If you don't have 5 games, you're not on this list. If you don't have 5 games, you could just expect to not be on this list at all. The impact of your win, where the game was, resume is included, and who your opponents were. And it's going to be compared to the other person or whatever the case may be if it's going to be close, okay? So make sure you guys hit the like button and subscribe. First part of our list is going to be Nas and Rob tied for number 1. These two guys to me are the 2 best 1v1 players within the space. These guys have potent wins. These guys have a really good resume. As you can see, Rob only has 1 loss. Nas has 3 losses on his resume, but he has played more games as well. So it kind of equals out based on win to loss ratio in terms of how many games Nas has played compared to how many games Rob has played. So if I break that down in win-loss ratio, they're about the same as that. They're about the same there as well. But what made them tied to me is the Zay win for Rob on the road, being that Nas didn't beat Zay in the DMV, but Rob did. The Scoob L Rob also has a Scoob win, 15-0, but he came back on the pay-per-view and lost that one. But let me tell you something, bro. These guys are very, very close. Very, very close. I'm not mad at you if you have Nas number 1. I'm not mad at you if you have Rob number 1. Both these guys have great cases, but until one of them loses or they play each other, I cannot definitively say one is better than the other. That's me. That's my opinion. And that's what I'm going down that hill. I'm going down that hill until one of them loses or they play each other via pay-per-view. That's how I would see it. So we have Nas and Rob tied for number 1. Right now is Zay. Zay has been doing this thing. He just recently lost to Rob, which is why I pushed him down to number 3 on this list, or number 2 if you want to say that. But yeah, whatever the case may be, just the recent Rob loss. He's been dominant. He's still a great player. He still does his thing. But as of right now, I have him below Nas and Rob at this particular juncture. We're going to keep this short and brief. The next person I have on this list, man, Nesco has moved up for me 2 spots. Nesco was number 6 in my previous 1v1 ranking. And as a result, man, after these wins that he collected over the previous weekend, I have to push him up above Moon and Scoob. He has Scoob twice on his resume. Trey Croft 3 times on his resume. Moon 2 times on his resume. Hoodie Kel, Fambi, Nate, Day, Cam, Fambi again. He lost to Nas. He beat Terry Hosley, beat Scar twice, beat Hezekiah, beat Makai Richard. He lost to CB twice, but one of those wins was last year for CB, and then CB came back this year and beat him. So there were games in between that. Then you got the Dallas event with OTD. You got the Mass Hooper in Houston with OTD. You got J.O. He beat Dooley, who's a really good opponent for him, and he also beat TD. I believe he beat Bird as well. I didn't put Bird on his resume, but I believe he beat Bird as well. So Nesco, being that he has swept Uncle Scoob, swept Trey Croft, has 2 wins on Moon. I had Moon above him in the previous ranking, being that Moon won in the pay-per-view. That recent loss for me pushed Moon above him slightly. But being that he just beat Scoob, beat Trey Croft, and then the rest of his resume is the way it is, I have to make him top 4. It would be an injustice to not make him top 4 at this particular juncture. Things can change. Things can happen for that to change again. But as of right now, Nesco is in my top 4. Next part of our list, I'll have Moon as my number 5. I have Moon as my number 5. The reason why I have Moon as my number 5 is because he has a Nesco win that Uncle Scoop doesn't have. I know they played 3 times, but let's say Scoop plays Nesco a third time and he beats Nesco. We're going to have to do some recalculations based on what's happening. Also, he has 2 pay-per-view wins and he hasn't lost all year. He hasn't lost all year, being that him and Scoob are 1-1, and he hasn't lost all year. And also, he has 2 wins over Hoodie Kale, and Uncle Scoob has not beaten Hoodie Kale. I have Moon slightly over Uncle Scoob. I'm going to say it again, slightly over Uncle Scoob, being that he has a Nesco win. He beat Hoodie Kale twice. He also beat Terry Hosley twice. Uncle Scoob has not beaten Terry Hosley. And also, he has not lost all year. He has not lost all year. What I also will say is that Uncle Scoob and Moon's resume are very, very similar in terms of win-loss record. But being that at this particular juncture, Uncle Scoob has 2 losses this year and Moon has not lost all year, and being that if I go down their entire resume, Moon has 2 wins over somebody that Scoob does not have any wins over. He has another guy, Terry Hosley, that he beat twice that Scoob hasn't beat. And also he has a Nesco win that Scoob does not have. If Scoob would have won, matter of fact, we're going to get to Uncle Scoob, who's going to be my number 6. Let's get to Uncle Scoob. Uncle Scoob is my number 6 right now. If Uncle Scoob would have beaten Nesco and Trey Crawford that same weekend, I would make an argument for him being a top 3 player. I would make an argument for him being a top 3 player. And now, understand a lot of you guys are going to be saying the Rob Colon win, the Lamar Peters win. 2 very potent wins, 2 of the best wins in 2025. But the Eugene German loss, which was 16-7, and also the Nesco loss of 16-15, to me was just as potent. Like those losses are just as potent as those 2 wins. And being that Uncle Scoob is like what is he? He's 3-2 in his last 5. I think he's 3-2 in his last 5 because he beat somebody on June's League. Being that he's 3-2 in his last 5, and also Moon hasn't lost all year. Plus, if I compare some of the guys that they have played within their resume, Moon has a better record against those guys. As a result, I have to edge Moon slightly. But if Scoob would have swept this weekend on Nesquik, I would have made an argument for Scoob being top 3 on my list. Saying that they're 1-1, I edge Moon slightly in this ranking, but things can change. Things can change a lot. So within the next few months, whatever the case may be. But I have Scoob as my number 6. I have Scoob as my number 6 at this particular juncture. The next person on my list is going to be Cam So Smooth as my number 7. In our previous ranking, I had him at number 10, I believe. But this guy has been playing phenomenal this entire 2025. He has not lost all year. I believe he won in Cincinnati. He beat Mike Harden. He beat Lat. He won in San Fran. And I believe there's a couple other one-on-ones that I may be missing on his own particular channel. But this guy has been on a tear in 2025. He's changed his entire workout regimen, and he has been doing his thing. 2-0 on pay-per-views, wilding out. This guy is number 7 for me at this particular juncture. I can't put him over Scoob, Moon, and Ness right now because he lost to Ness, he lost to Scoob, and Moon has a Nesco win and all this other stuff on the resume that you guys can see right now. I can't put him over those guys yet until he plays them, and we'll see what happens. But Cam So Smooth is number 7, man. He's been balling out. Number 8, bro, I got ISO Tay, bro. I have ISO Tay, and I spoke to ISO Tay even after the Rob pay-per-view. I was going to have to put Cam So Smooth over him because Cam So Smooth has 2 pay-per-view wins. ISO Tay took 2 tough pay-per-view losses, but that Beano win was a really good win, and beating Bruce twice was amazing. We all know how good ISO Tay is, but I had to drop him slightly. I had to drop him 1 slot because of the 2 pay-per-view losses, being that a guy like Cam has 2 potent pay-per-view wins against Latin Davis and Mike Harden. I had to drop ISO Tay 1 spot in this updated ranking. But like I said, things can change. Things can change very quickly. Things can change very quickly based on what happens within the next few months and before the year ends out. Man, y'all, a lot of y'all gonna be shocked by this, but I have Bruce at number 9. I have Bruce at number 9, bro. Outside of he lost to Greg recently, but outside of ISO Tay wilding out on Bruce when they play one-on-one, Bruce don't lose. Bruce just don't be losing. And he has a pay-per-view win. He has a pay-per-view win. So I'm going to put Bruce as my number 9, bro. He has wins against Fonby, D-Bones, Kobe, Chris, Walt, Simba, Smooth Joe. Y'all don't know some of these other guys. Vonnie, I know Vonnie, Doc Rod, Jay Lockett. Bro, Bruce be winning games handily. I'm giving him credit, man. Bruce is my number 9 right now, bro. That's a record of what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 3 for Bruce, bro. Bruce deserves some respect right now. Bruce is my number 9. Lastly, as my number 10, we're going Hoodie Kell. Hoodie Kell is back in the top 10. Hoodie Kell is back in the top 10, man. His 2025 has been really, really good outside of the Keon loss, but this guy has 1 loss this year. He's been wilding out, and he also just picked up a big win to me. I don't know about to you, but to me, he picked up a big win against Malik, being that Malik was undefeated. And he beat him handily. He beat him handily. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Hoodie Kell as my number 10. 2 wins against Uncle Scoob, a win against Pat, a win against Day Day. He beat Terry Hosley, beat Nathan. He lost to Moon twice. But he has a CDL Nell win, Malik win, Mike Harden win. This guy is back in my top 10. He's back in my top 10, man. So this is going to conclude my top 10 list. We have Nas, Rob, tied for 1 with Zay, Nesco, Moon, Scoob, Cam, Isote, Bruce, and then Hoodie Kell. I'm pretty sure the biggest controversy is going to be Moon and Scoob, but I tried to explain myself as best as I could. Hopefully you guys understand where I'm coming from with that rhetoric, but things can change. Things can change, but I cannot penalize a guy who has not lost all year. And has 2 pay-per-view wins. And one of those pay-per-view wins is against a guy that Uncle Scoob lost to. So I have to give Moon the slight edge. I understand that Scoob has the Rob Cologne win and the LP win. 2 potent wins, 2 amazing wins. But he does have 2 losses this year that is just as potent, which is why I slightly give Moon the edge, with also those 2 guys being 1-1, and also with Moon having a 2-0 over Hoodie Kell, and Kell has a 2-0 over Uncle Scoob. So that's going to be my list, man. See you guys in the next list. Next list will be a top 20. The next list will be a top 20. So I hope you guys enjoyed this list. You guys are probably going to critique the hell out of this list like y'all always do all my lists, but I feel like I try to be as fair as possible every time I do one of these. So let me know what matchups you guys want to see. Let me know what you guys what matchups you guys want to see on what particular platform, and I can try to make that happen. I can try to get these calls made and get these things done so these guys can get to the bag and you know what I'm saying, feed their families while I'm feeding my own family. I'll feed myself, I should say. I don't have a family yet. But see you guys in the next video. Love you guys. You already know what's going on.